Hey fellow gamers, it's Cozy Mel with another Palia video for you. Today we're going to talk to Hodari. He happens to be walking into town to have lunch. So we're going to see if we can't talk to him and open up his store so that you can see the kind of things that you can get from your mining instructor. So this is the mining store that Hodari always has on his person. When you first start out, the first item is a basic smelter. It's 100 gold. You need to buy it as soon as you can. Everything that you go out and mine, like copper and iron and pallium, will need to go into this smelter and come out in bars. And then you use the copper bars in your recipes. You also have to have a recipe to make the copper bar, and that costs 50 gold. And you need the recipe to make the ceramic bar, and that also costs 50 gold. However, these smelters that cost 100 gold, once you set the smelter up and use it the first time, you'll get a letter in the mail and get your 100 gold back. For having set up a basic smelter. So that gives you the 100 you need to get the copper bar recipe and the ceramic bar recipe so that you can start making them. I believe the smelter is like level 1. Normally that's how it goes. You know, and level 2 you could get copper bar, level 3 ceramic bar, or level 4 standard pick recipe, and that's a really important one to buy. 250 gold. And so once you are at the correct level that you can get the standard pick, you want to go ahead and get it. You'll get a letter in the mail from Hodari. And then there's the iron bar for 100. You want that as soon as you can get it. It'll probably be the next level up. The repair station is 500 gold, and I skipped it. I didn't want to spend the money. I was saving up to get another row in my backpack. So I just paid money to in town to repair my stuff until I had a little bit more saved up. So I went ahead and bought the silver bar recipe when I got to level 5. Boy, I wish it would tell you on here, but it doesn't. I think it's level 6 before you get the heavy smelter. Probably level 7 before you can get the fine pick. It costs 1,500 gold, but by then you will have 1,500 gold, you know, to spend on it. Your money won't be quite so dear at that point in time, although you will want to get all your tools in fine. So you'll want a fine fishing rod, a fine axe, a fine pick, and they're about 1,500 each across the board from each teacher. But you will want to get that because you cannot mine pallium without it. So once you get the fine pick at level 7 or whenever it is, you'll be able to start doing pallium out of the rocks over in Bahari Bay. The same ones that give you iron ore in Bahari can also give you pallium. It's RNG, it's random. So they might be an iron ore 1 minute, and 10 minutes later it might be a pallium ore. That's just the way it works. Now they changed the way it was. Gold is your daily RNG that comes with an iron ore node. So when you're in Kilima, if you are mining for copper, every 20 copper that you mine, you might get silver. It's just RNG, it's just luck. And over in Bahari, you're going to be mining for iron ore, and every 20 or 30 iron ore, you'll get a piece of gold, or it's just luck. It's just RNG. It's a small percentage, a low percentage, but you will get them. The ore compass helps you find iron deposits and supposedly pallium deposits. I haven't found any use for it. I did not buy that recipe. Um, they give you an ore compass for one of the quests that you do, and I used it, and it took me right to all the iron ore spots that I already knew by heart on my own. So really, I didn't find it to be all that helpful. If it would take me straight to pallium and skip the iron ore altogether, that would be fine, but it doesn't work like that. And I think it found me 1 pallium, and I got 100 and something iron ore. So really, it wasn't much help. The exquisite pick is 3,000 gold. It's a lot. You want it anyway. Don't worry about it. You want it. So as soon as you've saved up enough and you've gotten to level 9, I think it is, in mining, you will get a letter that says you can come buy the recipe for the exquisite pick, and you definitely want to do that. And that is the last thing. You will get to level 10 after that, and you'll be finished leveling up mining for these purposes. After that, everything you do to level up will reward you with medals. And these little metals are called mining metals in mining, or furniture metals in furnishings, you know. And you save these up so that you can buy some of these nice things that they sell later. So if you never bought, you know, if you never bought the recipe for an ore compass, you can always buy an ore compass for 50 of these metals if you want to. Most people like to put nice furniture in their house, and so they will save all their metals up to get these curio case or the anvil or the wallpaper, something nice they can put in their house and show off. Okay, so that is everything that you need to know about the things that you buy from your mining instructor, your mining teacher, who is Hodari. Hodari lives in uh, Bahari Bay. He does not live in Kilima. Now, he does come to Kilima once a day around noon, usually, I think, noon to 1 o'clock to eat lunch. So he will walk into town and then he will walk back out of town. I always try to catch him and stop him and say hi because I'm trying to level up my friendship with him. I have to get him to level 3 in friendship in order to romance him. And he's probably one of my favorite characters in the game, so I would probably like to romance him. So that's the deal with that. So if I want to say hi to him once per Palian day, which is once per hour, I would have to go all the way to Bahari Bay to do so. But if I happen to be around downtown Kilima when it is about time for him to come over for the day, then I can catch him here instead of having to go over. But it turns out that when you want to romance him, you'll have to have his daughter to level 4 as well, and she never comes to Kilima for anything. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to go to Bahari Bay at least every couple of Bahari days, every couple of real-time hours that you play. You might want to bump over there and say hi to them. They live really close to the entrance. So if you walk down this road and you cross the big long bridge and you go into Bahari Bay this way, they live right here. So it is just a hop and a skip down from where you enter. It's a rather long walk to get to the entrance, but once you enter, it's not far to get to where they live. Um, no, it's this way, up to the left. So once you get there, you'll turn left and you'll get to their house. Okay, so anyway, that is Hodari. He's your mining instructor. And the only other thing that we could do in the process of talking about this is look at the rocks and the ore. If you have not seen them yet, I'm sure that you probably already have. But we can run out here and give a little quick look. There's a Choppa, but we won't take the time to shoot him, even though I want to. You would open up your wheel by pushing R and go ahead and mouse over your pick, and your pick will come out. And then you can go ahead and hit this rock twice, and you will pick up stone and flint. If you use stone, 100 pieces of stone will make 1 piece of glass. So this gives you free glass. And you will always get stone of some amount, you know, out of everything that you mine. You will always get some stone. If you're doing a rock, you will get stone and flint. Flint is only used for makeshift arrows, and then it's barely used the rest of the game. So you can sell flint because it sells for 3 gold each. So if you have 100 flint, you've got 300 gold right there in your bag for free, just because you went mining. This rock has bright orange spots coming out of it. That means it's copper. So you're going to hit this 3 times. This, you know, 2 or 3 times, depending on what axe you happen to have a pretty good axe, and I get 3 copper ore and 2 stone out of this. So that is what you can do if you are here in Kilima. In Kilima, you can only do stone, rocks and stones, and these actual copper nodes where you get the copper and the stone. As far as your basic minerals, now there's also mud or clay. Mud and clay come out of these little clumps. So you also use your mining pick and hit them twice. Go ahead and loot it, and you will get 8 clay. Okay? So these only appear along the lake, and the lake is where your fishing instructor Eonar is. So this big lake, which I will show you, this is the Fisherman's Lagoon. And then everything along this edge, along this entire edge of Kilima, this is all lake edge. And all along this lake edge, you can find clay by, just doing these nodes. And the clay is kind of turned into clay bricks, and they are used in a lot of your machinery. Like, say you want to make a kiln, you will probably have to have some, or some of the other machinery that you make on your property, you will have to have some clay bricks. You also use it in furnishings, especially if you want to make anything ceramic. So if you want to make clocks and vases and various decorative items, you're going to want to have some clay, and you're going to want to have it made into clay bricks, and you use the same kiln. So the same kiln handles everything: the clay and the copper, the iron and the uh, pallium can all be made into bricks, and rocks can be made into stone bricks, which are used when you build your house, when you add another room, when you add a fireplace or a hallway. All those things require some wooden planks and some stone bricks. So don't just throw away all your rocks. Don't just sell all your rocks for 1 gold each, because you will be able to turn them into stone bricks, which you will use until you are finished making, building your house and making everything that you want to add to your house. Okay, so then the other type of mining that we would do is over in Bahari Bay. This is a small node, but this is an iron node. You can tell by the dark black spot on it. So when you loot it, you will get 1 stone and 2 iron ore. So that is how you get your iron ore. From a long ways away, you can see that black pointed tip on this rock. So you want to go straight for it, because you're going to know that that is actually iron ore. So once you attack it with your pickaxe, you will get 1 stone and 2 iron ore also out of that rock. Okay? It's going to be difficult for you to see with this tiny rock, but this is the only piece of pallium I have been able to find in the past hour. And that is kind of the way it is now. The developers decided to change the way Pallium was released into the game. And therefore, about once every, I don't know, 2 or 3 million nodes, apparently, you will get a Pallium node. So I've been searching for over an hour and have finally found this little teeny tiny one. And this is what Pallium looks like, in case you've never seen one and didn't know. Instead of orange or black, it's sort of a bright, clear, glassy, silver-looking color coming up out of the rock. And you'll probably have to hit this 3 or 4 times, even though it's a small one, because pallium is harder. And you have to have a fine pickaxe or an exquisite pickaxe. And out of that, we got 1 pallium and 1 stone. Okay, so that is all of the kinds of rock that you can pick. Back on our plat, you'll be able to see at the work table that you can then make a basic smelter. Once you have, it may be that you have to get to level 2 in mining if you start out at level 1, but the very first level that you actually achieve on your own, you will get access to the basic smelter recipe from Hodari, as I showed you, for 100 gold. You will build it, then you will place it on your plot, and when you do, it will trigger a letter that you will get in the next time that mail comes, 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. Palia time, that will give you your 100 gold back for having bought the pattern. It takes 40 rocks and 6 flint and 3 Cernak hides to make the basic smelter. So you will make it and use it. It's slow and clunky and doesn't do a fast job, but it does the work that you need to do. And then eventually you will get high enough, say level 7 or 8, and you will get a recipe offered to you for a heavy smelter. Now, to make this, you're going to go over to your basic smelter. You're going to stop all activity that's going on in it by Xing out of the process in the hopper. Everything it was working on that it wasn't finished with will go back into your bag. You won't lose any of that. And anything that's already been made and is down in the lower hoppers, you need to click on those and pick them up and get them out of the smelter and into your bag. Once it's empty, then you're going to be able to pick it up and put it in your bag. Once you have the basic smelter in your bag, and you know that you have 25 stone bricks and 6 iron bars that you made with your basic smelter, then you can come on your work table and find the heavy smelter and push make, and it will turn your old smelter into your new one. So you will no longer have both of them. You won't have a basic one anymore. The basic one gets used up in the process of making the heavy smelter. So you will place the heavy smelter down on your plot, and it looks like this. So then you can walk up to your heavy smelter and you can see the hopper. This is where you would put the ore that you have found. We found 100 iron ore just looking for one piece of pallium ore. It's pretty bleak, folks, but that's the way it goes right now. That's how they have it. So you can put the iron ore in the hopper, and it requires 5 iron ore to make 1 iron bar, and it's going to work on that now. In the old smelter, it took about 5 minutes maybe, and in this one, it takes 3.5 minutes. It doesn't sound like a huge savings, but really, it is pretty good. Also, you will notice over here that while we were mining our copper and we were mining our iron ore and the one piece of pallium ore that we did get, and we also just mined some rocks, we were able to get some gems. So it took us about an hour, and we got 4 different gems, and we can sell those. You can keep them if you would like to give them as gifts. And some people do want to give them as gifts to the people in town, and each person has a favorite gem. But if you want to, you can go ahead and sell them so that you have gold for the next thing that you'd like to do. And like I said, we can also sell our flint if we're no longer using makeshift arrows, which I am not. So this was kind of a lucky day on the gems, and you can get 3,000 or 4,000 gold in gems if you're mining for, say, an hour, especially if you do both sides, some in Kilima and some in Bahari Bay, or if you mine the whole time in Bahari Bay. If you mine a whole hour in Kilima, you might only get 1,000 or 1,500 in gems, probably half as much, because mining the copper ore and the rocks, you don't get as nice a gems as you get if you're in Bahari Bay and you are mining the pallium and the iron ore. Okay, so that is it. I believe that's every single thing you need to know about mining. Your teacher HODARI, everything he sells you, how you level up, all of the ores, the rocks, and the mud for making clay bricks. I believe we've covered it all. If you've got a question or I missed something, please put it in the comments below. And I hope you will like and subscribe and ring that bell so you know the next time I'm going to drop another video for you. And I will see you in the next one.